What's up, guys? My name is Matt, and this is Hidden Light, and I am so frickin' excited. It's my YouTube channel. I can say fuck if I want to. I am so fucking excited. 2 new film stocks were announced this week. Not 1, not 0, which is the way it's been for a bazillion years. 2 new film stocks. Holy crap, I'm excited. Okay, so the first one, and arguably I think the most impressive, is that Kodak is launching Gold 200 in 120. Now, if you've been on the internet and or not living under a rock for the last week, you already know about this. But it's going to be so cool. Oh, I'm so excited. Especially with the prices of Kodak recently. Yeah. I mean, Portra and Ektar and E100, the professional film stocks have been so incredibly expensive, and the fact that we're getting a proper, like, reasonable film stock, yeah, it's higher grain and a little lower contrast and maybe not quite as much saturation, but it's going to be cheap and easy 120, and I love that. I'm stoked. This is the kind of film that I would shoot. I'm the guy who shoots the student film stocks. You know, I'll shoot Arista all day. I'll shoot Kentmere forever. Now, the Kentmere they don't make in 120, but hey, Ilford, just saying, you know, give me some Kentmere 120. I'd be into that. That'd be fun. So the Gold 120, first things first, great layout image, Kodak. Like, come on, that's great. It's supposed to be priced lower than the professional film stocks. Of course, what with supply and demand being what they are, it might end up being close to the same, at least while things get going. I've ordered, I think, 5 Pro packs just to start so that I can play with some, and I've had a couple people pre-order from me. So, you know, we'll get that stuff going as soon as it shows up. I have no idea when this stuff is going to appear. They did give out some film to some cool people so that those cool people could shoot the film and see what it looks like. And so Ribsy, our boy in London, did this, which, come on, so cool. He did a great job. It looked like he basically only got 1 roll and had to go walkabout in London, just slam through a roll so that he had images to show. But his images turned out really good. And yeah, I don't know. Let's see if we can find some of them here, because he nails it. I mean, they look good. They're 120. They're gold. I've always had a kind of a problem with the base of gold because it's typically a really dark orange base. Like Portra is like a kind of a light, mellow orange base, and gold is like opaque, which I don't know why. I don't know things about how films are manufactured, but super cool. I'm really excited to get this. I hope it comes out before like July. I don't have any clue when this stuff's going to come out, but I'm excited for it. More 120 film stocks is the answer. Another new film stock, Cinestill, is announcing a 400 speed daylight / dynamic balanced film. They're doing a little Kickstarter style experience, and this is going to be really cool. I'm excited for this. Cinestill films are a little expensive, like most other, professional film stocks, because of what Cinestill has to do to take, generally speaking, Kodak films that are meant for video work and then strip the remjet off of them and repackage them and recanister them and then sell them. I don't think they actually get their film in canisters. I think they get it on bulk rolls and they roll it down the hall from Kodak, but still. This will be really cool. More 400 speed films is kind of the answer. 400 dynamic, it looks like it's going to come in around like a Fuji Superia 400 vibe with maybe a little bit more warmth, just based on what I've seen of the test images. Like good greens and blues, skin tones, like maybe, that's kind of what I get out of Superia, or pretty much any Fujifilm stock. But this skin tone, are you kidding me? That's banging. So I'm excited for this. I'm going to go ahead and put in a backer order thing for an amount. I don't think I want to do the $1,500 get 400 rolls, but I think I'm going to get like probably 10 or 20 rolls so that we can play with them and so that we have them when they come out, which is going to be for sure, assuming no production delays, in July. But here they've got like 1,000 different, ways that you can back it. You can either get one roll for $15, or you can come down here and just go totally nuts and get 100 rolls for $1,500, $1,300. So we'll get some. I'll play with some. We'll have some to sell, and then as soon as they start actually doing distribution properly, we'll get some and we'll carry it. We try to carry Cinestill, but they're dependent, I think, on Kodak to create the film stock to start with. And if Kodak can't keep up with demand, then neither can Cinestill. So for instance, I can't get 800T in 35mm right now unless I buy it from B&H, which, I don't know, it's not my vibe. I don't make any money when I buy it from B&H. So, but yeah, super stoked on that. So we've got Gold 200 in 120, and we got a new Cinestill. Super stoked on that. Other cool things on the internet. Recently, actually, I posted a video, I showed a video that Smarter Every Day did talking about how film works. He managed to get an opportunity to go to Kodak's manufacturing facility in Rochester, and he got to take the tour and see their, it's like multiple city blocks. Their palace, their facility is enormous. And he got to go there and see what it takes, what they do to make film. So he published the first of 3 videos, a week ago or something. And this one shows it's an hour-long video dedicated entirely to the poly base of film that takes up God knows how many, like this enormous building, how many thousands of square feet. It's just, oh. So the first video is all about how the base gets made. It's really cool. He kind of gets to walk through the whole facility. He's got these lovely little animations that show, the grinding and the reactors and the screws and the filters and the wheels and the coating and the drafting and the coating and it's super fun. And this is all just support, right? This doesn't include the emulsion, doesn't include backing paper, this is just like the very first step, and he takes an hour to go through the whole thing, which is really cool. That'll be linked down below, like everything else we're talking about. So cool. Like, I've never even been in a warehouse that big. Can you imagine? Wow. And I love the sort of half in, half out mask thing that goes on during the entire video. Like, it was shot kind of in this weird gray period. It's spring of 2022, and like maybe COVID's still a thing, and we have regulations about it, but maybe no one really cares anymore, and we're over it. I just thought that was fun. But yeah, I mean, the whole video is about plastic, and they have lots of fancy words for plastic that I don't know fancy words. Coffee. It's cold in Flagstaff today, so I'm consuming large quantities of hot coffee, but it's supposed to warm up soon, which is great. So we are working with a YouTuber / photographer named Taylor, and she recently put out a video where she is shooting Cinestill 800T in full daylight. And then she posts up on her contacts, of course, because Taylor, she's bougie. I mean, you got a nice camera, you show it off, you put it on YouTube. That's how those cameras get expensive. And good for you, girl, get it. So she's showing off 800T, which she shot in daylight, and she sends us the film and we do the scans for her. And this video in particular is a great example, and the way that she shows off her work is a great example of what the super high res scans that we offer do. We're scanning all of her work on a Sony a7R IV, which is a 61 megapixel sensor, which is totally absurd, but they look really good. She's got this thing that where she does a grain check, where she zooms in on the scans and like this, and shows off the actual texture of the grain, which we're very easily resolving at 61 megapixels on that Sony. Oh, damn. like good work, good composition. She's got good light for this. The Cinestill 800T actually behaved really well. And part of that may be because Negative Lab Pro, when we did the conversions and inversions, tried to balance out some of the shenanigans that you get with 800T, or you should get with 800T in full daylight, but she's still getting like magenta shadows and some kind, you know, that kind of crazy stuff. But she's hanging out in Vegas, just shooting, doing cool stuff. Obviously, subscribe to Graincheck if you haven't already, because she's high speed, high energy, fast pace, with good photography. I mean, the images look great. And I don't just say that because, you know, we're doing all of her scans and everything. But I mean, honestly, I would follow her. I would follow her. Follow her. Check it out. Graincheck. So cool. Those look good. And our best friend, who I've never met, but I will someday meet, Ben Horne, is back at it with another road trip and subsequent photography. He's in Death Valley, which is one of my favorite national parks ever. I just love the scale of it. And he talks about that in this video, how it's so fucking huge. And you can't properly express how big that park is in a photograph. No matter what you're doing, it's just enormous. You know, that's the kind of park where when you in the US, when you go to the national parks, you pay your $35 or $40 to get into the park, and you get 7 days and that pass is good for 7 days. Death Valley is the kind of park where you take 7 days because it's enormous. But Ben does a great job. He's out here. He's kind of been focusing, as far as I can tell, more on tighter scenes of texture. He's been pointing his camera at the ground a lot recently, which the shot that he actually comes out with at the end of this video, and he talks about how the scale is sort of ambiguous, is a great representation of Death Valley to me. But gorgeous work. Death Valley is full of incredible textures, contrasts. The light there is just something else. And he does a great job. So every time I see one of his videos, I'll basically stop whatever I'm doing and just take a deep breath and zen and listen to the man talk and watch him shoot. I'll never be able to achieve that, but damn, it's a lot of fun. So thank you, Ben. Keep up the work. Keep up the work. Keep up the good work. Talking is hard. And then we'll finish out the news. Not that this has anything to do with news, but Adam posted a video. I'm new to his channel and I haven't really gone through it a lot. He's got great production value, but he posted a video, Why No One Needs to See Your Photography. And this is something I've been thinking about a lot recently. You know, a lot of us get caught in the sort of experience where we want to shoot for someone, shoot for Instagram, shoot for somebody's mom, shoot for likes, for reposts, for a client. And I don't think it always has to be like that. I've been focusing a lot more recently on shooting for myself and not really giving a damn what anybody else thinks. You know, Taylor Mahoney, who does the silver printing here, is always giving me shit about how I like to shoot backlit trees, backlit plants, backlit sand, backlit everything. I'm shooting for me, you know, and I like backlit stuff. It feels good. It's dark, but it's light, and I don't know, it's just something that I'm drawn to. And so I don't really worry about it. You know, I photographed the engine out of one of my project motorcycles, and I'm sure to most people it's probably a tragically boring photograph, but to me it represents a lot. And it represents the growth that I've had learning how to take apart a motorcycle, fix all the crap that's wrong with it, clean it, endless hours of cleaning, and then put it back together. And that's a huge step for me because it was really intimidating, right? So that photograph is not for you, it's for me. But you get to see it if you want to, if you watch the video and the What We're Printing video, which will be out in a couple of days. I'm not shooting for you, for other people, for Instagram, for whatever. I shoot for me, and I recommend that you do the same thing. Shoot for you, and don't worry about posting it. Don't worry about publishing it. Don't worry about getting a book deal about it. Just shoot because you like it. Shoot because you're saying something that needs to be said. Shoot because you're expressing yourself and getting it out. Sometimes you got something inside, and you got to get it out. And photography can be a great way to do that. And of course, printing your work. Like, yes, it costs money to make prints of your work, but you can print your work and just put them up in your house. Put them on the fridge. Give them to your mom. You know, it doesn't have to be like a huge externally motivated thing. You can just do it because you like it. So this video really resonated with me. So when that happens on the YouTube, you know, when you're resonating with the video, you like, and then you subscribe, and then you leave a comment and just be like, hey, this really resonated with me. I'm just going to comment like that. Typing is hard, and it's a lot harder when you have hundreds of people who are watching you, or thousands. We're not to the thousands part yet, but someday we will be. Anyway, so check that out. All these videos and links and fun things are linked in the link place where links go in the video description. And now it's time to experience the lab. We're going to make some platinum prints together from 8x10s, and you get to see the aforementioned motorcycle motor. So let's go make some prints. What's up, guys? Welcome back into the lab, where I figured today, being kind of a slow, mellow day, might be a good opportunity for me to make some of my own prints and experiment a little and generally play around because we're here and we can. So, first thing I want to talk about is humidity. Arizona, as you may have heard, is a dry heat. Up at Flagstaff, we don't really have to worry about heat. In fact, it snowed yesterday, but it is dry. The ambient humidity today is about 15%. Blech. So what I do typically when I come into the lab on the first day of the work week is turn on a bunch of humidifiers, and you can hear one of them going in the back. I'm pre-soaking the pads for my big humidifier because this room is nowhere near humid enough. And we have heated floors here, which is great. So what I can do is just dump a bunch of water onto the floor, and it's heated so it evaporates actually rather quickly. So this room is already at about 20% from 15% when I got in, and started splashing water all over the place. And I'm in a rush today. So I've got some paper here, and I've got my little baby humidifier going, and it's just kind of generally bringing the area around the paper up to a proper humidity. But I saved one sheet, and I want to take that one sheet and we'll do a comparison, like no humidity and then proper humidity, and see if there's any difference. We'll be working with negatives that I shot on the 8x10. I've got a stack of stuff that I've been either meaning to print or finish the edition of. So I cut up a bunch of 8x10 paper this morning, and what we'll do now, I figure, is warm up the bulbs while I get my emulsions figured out and get going. So, print day. Print days are always fun. Everybody loves a print day. So, warm up those bulbs. Never drank anything out of a shot glass in my building, ever. So, here's some ferric oxalate. Getting a little low on it, but not too bad. Na2. And H2O2. And for those of you who are wondering, this is just straight hydrogen peroxide. I think it's a 3% dilution that you buy at the store for $1 or $2. Nothing fancy. And we'll take my suitably moistened brush, come over here, and we'll just coat this bad boy real quick. Splash. Now, because I'm using a fair amount of emulsion here, it may actually humidify the paper enough that we don't have to worry about humidity issues. It may. There. Now we wait. Okay, perfect. So the paper has dried, and I've got it stuck in my contact frame here with my negative. And we'll try an exposure here real quick. I've printed this one before, and I was at about 4 minutes the last time. Let's see if I can grab one of these. And 4 minutes is okay, but I think a little lighter might be better. So I'm gonna try. I'm gonna go for it with 3 minutes, and we'll see how this turns out. So we'll just kind of set that there. And set our very expensive timer. No, not for 10 minutes. 3 minutes. Ready to go. Woo, that's bright. Ba, 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 ba. Looks like a picture. Sort of. Any printout on an exposure that short is worth noticing is good. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Words are hard. All right. The old developer splash. 1, 2, 3. Whoa. That's pretty dark, actually. I could probably go less time. I can feel that the paper's still really dry. Like, you know, when you develop it, you hardly get any on the back even. So give this a little rinse, which has nothing to do with anything, really. Just get some of that developer off. That's actually not as bad as I thought. That looks pretty good at 3 minutes. I feel pretty good about that. So we'll have to compare. I've got another sheet of paper here, which sounds different. The, whatever noise you would call that, is nowhere near as bright. It's much more muted, because I've had it sitting here underneath this thing. So it's got a lot of moisture in it. I don't know, it's different. I can feel that there's moisture in the paper. So I'm gonna use the exact same chemistry mix, the exact same 3-minute exposure, and we'll see if there's any difference. Might as well, right? Give you a little different angle on the mixing. Okay, so progress. I don't know if you can tell, much more even coating with the humidity in the air. Fewer streaky white lines, the chemistry absorbs into the paper more evenly. It takes a little longer, yes, but it seems to be basically better in every way. Now, will that affect the print? I don't know. We'll just stick our little negative on there. And stick it in the table here for another 3 minutes. Boop, boop, boop. Don't look at it. Look away. 3 minutes. Oh yeah. I can see more printout with a more humidity. Jesus, talking is hard. More printout with more humidity in the paper. That doesn't necessarily mean the exposure will be darker, but it makes it a little bit easier to see, if that makes any sense. you can see, yeah, up at the top here and in the middle there, it's easier to see as I wander around the lab with it because I've got more printout. So we'll try another technique here. We'll do the tray drop. Honestly, it looks about the same. Real similar in pretty much every way. That black might be a little deeper, but not by a lot. Still though, looks lovely. That's exactly what I'm looking for in this image. Feels higher contrast actually. I'm not sure if that's really a thing. Let's see, side by side. I don't mind the tone difference because this is cleared a fair bit and this hasn't yet. So a lot of this yellow is coming out because that's what clearing bath does, is it pulls all the iron and the yellow and all the unexposed crap out of the paper, which turns this bath sort of yellow. So tone differences aside, it's hard to tell. They're probably almost exactly identical in terms of exposure. This black feels better, but I don't know if it actually is. Anyway, that's a fun little experiment. We'll look at them side by side when they're dry and see if we can see a difference. But for now, it's time to move on to new negatives. Because we can. Might as well. Let's try something new, something different. When I spin around like that, does it make you dizzy? Because it makes me a little dizzy. That's okay. Let's see who's next. Ooh. This is the shot I did last week at Shoshone. Let's save that one for a minute. Let's do this other one. This is a low contrast, terrible excuse of an image. And I don't think it's going to work. But I want to try it just to prove to myself that that's actually what's going to happen. So we're going to punch up the contrast on this as much as we can and hope. I don't expect this to turn out very well, but it's good to have an experiment. And then I'll be able to end my printing day on a high note with images that I know work because I can see in the negatives that they look good. So let's try one of these. Let's just try. So you know how on that last negative, when I put it on the coated paper, you can like kind of see through it and kind of see what it is. Not so much with this one. This is going to be flat and painful. I'm going to start at 5 minutes and go until I get a printout that I think shows something. If I can get something to show up from this image, that's about as good as it's going to get, actually. Whoa. Chill. Chill your pill. Working on this table with it canted up like this is like the stupidest, most dumb way to do things. Camera wants to tilt over. Oh my god. Contact frame wants to tilt over. I have a whole other setup that's like designed to be used like this. But I'm using this one instead, because that's how I am. Let's start for 5 minutes. So, okay, so I know I'm getting good exposure because I have printout. The question is, am I exposing the actual image through all the trash in the negative? So let's just take a peek here. Just be a little more gentle than usual. And survey says, doesn't look like there's anything in there. And I think this is the side of the negative where I'd be able to see something too. We'll check the other side just to be sure. Man, I don't even know. Part of me wants to go until I see something. You know, like 2 minutes at a time. And just see. I think that's what I'm gonna do. We'll just push this one, and I may end up getting just a totally black frame, but I want something. I want to see something there. So we're gonna go for it. I'm gonna give it another 3. It's probably a terrible idea. But when you're guessing and checking, you gotta just do it. This is tough. I can't. There might be something there. Maybe. I don't know. That's probably just from coating. Like the white streaks you see are from coating, because those are you can see they're the same size as my brush, so ignore those. I'm looking for positive density, which may be here. If I can't see it here, it's going to be so low contrast, nobody can see it. I have very low hopes. But we're going to try anyway. And we're not going to like bother doing like serious development. We're just going to swoosh that in there. Big hesitation line across the sky. There's actually more there than I thought. It's amazing that none of this printed out. Almost no detail in the clouds though. I don't know. If this was 7 minutes, I might try 10 or 11 minutes. Let's try one. Just because we can. And while we're here, move some of these through the various chemistries. Give me that. Put that in the wash. Put that in the next one. So I can see now that these are very different. If we just look real quick. Lighter, darker. I may have accidentally used a different negative for this, so it may not be a totally fair test. But the lighter one's definitely better. Anyway, 11 minutes. Let's try that. Look at that printout. 11 minutes is freaking ridiculous. I've done long exposures. You know, I've done exposures in the 20+ minute range. Ooh, look at that. We got some printout. So, if this thing is not incredibly flat, maybe it's possible. Who knows? Put this here. You'll have to excuse me being a lone videographer today because Alex isn't here. And sometimes I get motivated to do things when I don't have a videographer in the building. So I have to just do it my damn self. And thank you guys for being patient and following along when I choose terrible frickin' angles to video myself from, like this one. So, terrible drop, Jesus. What is this, amateur hour? Hey, would you look at that? There's a picture there. There's even some detail in the clouds. I know it's hard with it moving around and being far away and stuff, but Not terrible. Way better than I expected, to be honest. Of course, it doesn't do the moment justice at all. I mean, when I was standing there, I was like blown away by what that looked like. And you know, being in the wind and, you know, getting the whole environment, all that. Whoa, that's not me. Okay, it's the sink. Calm down. I'm just getting my wash squared away here. This I'm really happy with. I'm gonna do a couple more of these and give them away or sell them. I'm thinking about doing selling my prints. This one's terrible. That's not really even worth clearing, but I'm here, so I might as well, you know, keep doing it. This guy, though, better than it has any right to be. I'm struggling to figure out pricing for these little baby 8x10s. Like, yes, they're platinum, and yes, I'm gonna limit the editions. You know, I like the 1 of 3 sort of experience, but for 8x10s, I may do like more. I may do like 9 of these at 8x10. You know, of each image or something. I don't know. 3 feels good, and all my other stuff is 1 of 3. You know, editions of 3 plus an AP. Maybe we'll stick to 3s. I don't know. Figure out what the pricing is like, though, you know? I was thinking like a couple $100, like $200 as a print only, and $300 with like an easy 11x14 frame or something, you know, like a black wood grain frame with an 8-ply mat. I don't know. I'm still thinking about that. What do you think? How much should I charge for a platinum 8x10, limited 1 of 3? Comments. Let me know. That looks gorgeous, actually. That's better than it has any right to be. But in the interest of time, since those are 11 minutes apiece, I may move on to the next negative and just write down my notes. All right, moving on. I haven't yet found this chemistry mix to be too high contrast, so I'm just going to stick with it. Now these exposures should be much shorter, because the next image I'm going to do is going to be from a properly exposed negative. Should be much more reasonable. Let's see which negative we're going to pick here. Save that for later. Save that for later. You know what? Since I'm running out of time, let's do the shot that I went to the canyon for. Let's do it. This is the one. This is the way. Let this paper dry, and then we'll do what I expect to be a 3-minute exposure of the Grand Canyon. Yes! I'm pumped! Can't really see through it all that well, so 3 minutes is not going to do me. I'm going to be at about 5. So we'll start at 5. May end up going a little more, but I'm going to try 1 at 5 unless I have a reason to do something else. Unless we pull it apart and it just looks like trash. Lovely. Oh, and you know, what am I doing while I have 5-minute or 11-minute exposures, aside from looking good in UV light? Generally, I'll hop on the Discord and hang out there and just chat and whatever. And of course, watch YouTube. So that was 5 minutes. Oh, God. I got a whole lot of nothing going on up here. Man, I don't know. That's tough. Let's give it another 3. We'll call it 8. It's hard to tell. I'm still getting used to this. You know, I thought that negative was pretty well exposed, but can't really see through it. And if you can't really see through it, I'm learning that maybe it's a little overexposed, which is fine. That's okay. A little overexposed isn't going to hurt us. So 3 minutes, try again. This is not a one-handed operation. Also, if you're a spaz like I am and you set the paper down where you set your shot glass with your emulsion in it, this is what happens. Hopefully that didn't get exposed. Oh man. Let's just eat this. Ready? 1, 2. Eat it. Oh man, really nasty coat on this one. Looks hideous. Sorry, I suck at being a cameraman. Sharp and good detail, but the coat is fucking awful. And 8 minutes was not enough. This is gonna end up being 10 minutes, maybe. Good first attempt. Do it again. 10 minutes. Better coat. So I went for 11 minutes instead of 10. So I feel like I'm having good luck on 11 today. Isn't that a great reason to choose an exposure? I got more printout this time, all the way up into the tree. So, I mean, why not? It's gonna be great. Still lots of streaking going on in this right now. I may actually have my paper too humid, if you can believe that's such a thing. It's a lot closer. It looks darker on the GoPro than it looks in real life. And it looks in real life pretty freaking close. I almost want to like compare the streaks. Actually, I can compare the streaks. Let's compare streaks, shall we? We'll see if they're exactly the same from print to print, because if they are, that means I have a negative problem. But if they're different, even a little, that means it's not in the negative. So, yeah, those are different. So it's just me coding like an idiot. That looks really good. It's a lovely little shot. 11 minutes. Love it. This guy's ready to go in here. Just washing a bunch of prints for the next hour. That's the name of the game. This guy's ready to move over. We're doing great. That's pretty much it though. I'll try and grab some photos of all these prints finished so that I can put them up. Or maybe you'll have to wait until the next what we're printing video. Maybe. I'll probably include these in that, and I'm probably going to shoot that on Wednesday. So these two videos will come out close together. Who knows what order they'll come in. I'm not planning ahead. I'm just printing and having fun. And just because I can, right? Anyway, I'm gonna wash these down. I think that's it for today. So we'll see you in the next one. That was fun. It's always good to make some prints, you know, even when they're not very good. A couple of those were okay. They turned out just fine. We did I already recorded, but we'll be publishing in a couple of days on Wednesday, the What We're Printing video that shows all of those prints and what they actually look like as a finished product. They dried down some of them pretty differently than they kind of look wet. So I always forget that I'm not allowed to judge a print until it's dry. And yeah, makes a big difference. It's just because I'm in a hurry all the time. So anyway, let's get on to the FAQ or FAQ. I stole that from a different YouTuber. He does that. And I like FAQ more than FAQ. It's more fun. So, questions, comments, and concerns that people have posted on our videos at some point. You can post your questions, comments, and or concerns in the comment section, and then I'll be able to read them. And if you ask a question, maybe I'll answer it. So, David says, what, no money shot from my Grand Canyon experience? Yeah, we do that on purpose, trying to get you to come back. Also, it takes me a couple of days to develop the film and then to make a print. So we're on a tighter production schedule than that. We're going a little bit faster than, yeah, so that's what happens. If you see me shooting in a video, typically in an also later video, you will see the results of that shooting. But we're going too fast for me to stop everything and develop the film and then go make prints because I got other shit to do. So yes, yes, yes. Steven Snyder, the desert, sorry. He says, I wish they would open the entrance at Desert View. I used to have breakfast at Cameron and then enter the park. It's open. For those of you who have not been to the Grand Canyon recently, the East entrance, which they also call Desert View entrance, was closed for COVID because of staffing issues and they couldn't accept payments there or whatever. So you were only able to get into the South Rim from the South entrance. That's no longer the case. The East entrance is open. You can go through Cameron, stop and have a Navajo taco, which highly recommended, and then cruise into the park that way, as long as you skip the actual Desert View watchtower. And the only reason I tell you to skip that is because that's where the buses stop and there's a gazillion people wandering around over there. It's worth doing once and experiencing that view because it's beautiful, but it's typically crowded. Any of the points past Desert View, way less crowded. And that's actually where we were. We were on the east side of the park, headed that general direction, but we didn't go all the way. And I never stop at Desert View because it's bonkers. Did it once, done. Keith Peoples, 8x10 is tough in the wind. I almost pulled it off, I would say. I was close. It was worth trying. AO, whose name I think might be Alex or Alexander. It seems that you forgot to treat the negatives with photo flow before pulling them from the dryer. Can I rewash them and retreat them? Yes, I can. We rewash negatives all the time. In this particular instance, I didn't feel like dumping fucking 2 liters of photo flow in there or making a tray with photo flow. So I just yoinked them straight out. With other people's film, that never happens. But when I'm running film and I'm like, or Taylor and I are running film and I'm kind of in a hurry and I'm getting excited about it, I'll just do that and it's not a big deal. Not the end of the world. I don't do that for other people's negatives. Other people's negatives get photo flow. No real water spots on them though, because we have a dryer for our negatives and they went straight from the can into the dryer. They're fine. The streaks you see on the prints are not from that. They're different. Yes, I am a ham radio operator. I have my technician's ham radio license. My call sign is WA7LDO, and I almost never use it. I got into ham radio after my buddies and I were hanging out in, I think we were in Joshua Tree, and we were like way in the back of the park, like where nobody ever goes. We were out 4x4, you know, getting crazy, taking photos, and we killed the battery on our truck in an area with no cell service, and none of us were prepared to be out there like overnight or for multiple days, which was bad. So I vowed then and there to get a proper ham radio license so that I could catch, because there's so many people outside Joshua Tree. Like if you're driving by, you know what you're looking for. There's lots of people out there who are hams. And so I knew that I could ping one of them, and one of them would have a pickup and they could come jump us. So that's the reason I got into ham radio years ago. And you'll notice that my truck has no antenna on it because I keep snapping them off on trees and stuff because I'm a moron. So I have handhelds, and I give enough power on those to get me as far as I need to go from like a little hill or something. And so yes, I'm a ham operator. I don't do it a whole lot, but I could if I wanted to. And I recommend some sort of radio to people who are going to be in the back and beyond with no cell service in case something goes wrong. Not that it ever would, but it did to us. We got lucky. Some dude in a Jeep was out, a brand new Jeep at the time, and they were able to jump us, and we learned our lesson. Turned off the headlights. Dummies. So Alexander AO also is giving me some sass. So congratulations on your sass, sir. He's basically saying, like, what's the point of shooting film if you're just going to digitize it and then do digital everything? And honest to goodness, it's fun. The real reason I shoot film, two reasons. One, it's fun and it's difficult, which I like. And two, the bokeh. There's fall off you can get on proper size negatives, that being 6x6 and larger, that you cannot get any other way. The way 8x10 focus falls off is completely different. And the lenses for those cameras too, like all the old medium and large format cameras, the lenses are completely different from modern digital lenses, and they behave very differently. So the look is very different. That's why I shoot film. It's all about that bokeh-licious experience, life. I should get a shirt that says bokeh-licious. Get it printed on my ass, and then you'll really like it. Yes, it's expensive, but it's delicious. It's so good. I love it. David Carroll says he subscribed to Grainy Days. That dude is fucking hilarious. Hi, Jason. Not that Jason's going to watch a piddly little show like ours, but he is a blast. Highly recommend you subscribe to Grainy Days if you haven't already. Super fun. Today's Wednesday, which is video recording day here. Saturday, actually Friday morning, I'm leaving for Joshua Tree to go to this film nerd meetup thing. And I'm going to go hang out down there. And I think Jason's going to be there, and Taylor Pendleton, who does Graincheck, is going to be there. It's going to be all kinds of cool photo nerds. And we're going to go hang out and shoot in Joshua Tree and, I don't know, generally be film nerds, I guess. So that'll be fun. I'm going to try and record a bunch of what happens there and do a video about it. But it's just going to be me. So we'll see. We will see. Ian asks, I prefer black and white prints to be on the cooler side. Is it possible to cool down platinums? I feel like I've answered this one already. No, you can't cool down a platinum. You can get it neutral if you change developers and use a reasonably high platinum content as opposed to mostly palladium. They can be done neutral for sure, but you're not going to be able to get cool like when I think cool, I think cyanotype. I think like blue, you're never going to get there. You can get close to neutral, and that also depends on the paper you use. Arch is a slightly warmer paper base, or it feels like that to me. There are slightly more neutral paper bases. They just suck to work with. They're terrible. Arch is my favorite. And I can't believe I pronounced it arches. American arches for so long. And even arch isn't close because I'm incapable of the French R. But it's a French paper, and it's incredible. And easily my favorite platinum paper. Man, I shouldn't have made that comment about Vision 3. Melanin halide. Nice. It says, yeah, you can buy a 100-foot roll of Vision 3 from FPP and Freestyle Photo sells ECN2. I know. I shouldn't have said it because now I have to do it, but I'm going to do it. We're going to do it. I don't know when, though. I got to psych myself into shooting that and processing it. I'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. I'm going to keep telling myself that, and someday it'll be true. Yeah, I've already answered all of these. And sort of this one too. William in the Discord was saying, how do you control the warmth or coolness of an image in Palladium? More platinum gets it closer to neutral. You can also warm your developer if you're going the opposite direction. So if you want like a pseudo sepia, which I have a client who does, you print pure Palladium, so there's no platinum in the mix, and you heat your developer. I know guys who will heat it to basically boiling, which I don't want to be around that crap when it's boiling and there's chemistry in the air. That doesn't sound like fun to me. But the warmer you get your developer, the warmer your print will be. I'll see if I can find an example. I have one, actually. I know it's on my computer. So we'll full screen photo. On the left side of this image, you can see warm versus neutral, basically. So this was room temperature developer versus 140 degrees developer. And then next to that is the digital version of the file that we made the negative from. So you can kind of see what was actually neutral, what's platinum neutral with this developer, which is, what are we using? Potassium oxalate, which is my preferred developer. And then you see potassium oxalate heated to 140 degrees. So that's, yeah. Chemistry mix, developer type. You can use ammonium citrate developer, which is typically more neutral. I don't like it. I need to experiment more with it. I haven't played with it in probably a year, but I just generally don't prefer it. And a lot of my clients prefer the warmth of platinum palladium at room temperature in used ferric oxalate developer. I'm sorry, potassium oxalate developer. The warmth of those images is a vibe, and I think it looks really good. So that's kind of where we go. Using fresh developer also helps. So, I mean, at the scale that I'm doing prints, using fresh developer for every print can be pretty prohibitively expensive. So what we'll typically do is I'll add some fresh to some old, and we kind of keep that ratio mostly the same. But if you're using fresh developer, you can get a more neutral print as well, even when you're using potassium oxalate. Yeah, if you have any questions, post them in the comment of any video, because all I do when we're here hanging out together is I'll jump in to YouTube Studio and I'll go to the comments and just look at all of the comments that there are and run through those. That's how I answer the questions. So leave a comment. You might as well. If you aren't subscribed, you could do that. You know, we just do this for fun. It's not like I'm here to make money. We're not making money on YouTube videos. We're not even at 1,000 subscribers yet. When we do hit 1,000 subs, we're going to give away a platinum print. So if we'll randomly pick someone and you'll be able to get an 11x14 platinum print of your image made. But we can't do that until we hit 1,000 subs. So I don't know. Subscribe now, and then once we get past 1,000, unsubscribe if you don't like me. It's fine. Not gonna hurt my feelings. Maybe a little. Anyway, that's old news. It's Saturday. Go enjoy your weekend. Go take some pictures. Go make a portrait and submit to our most recent photo challenge. Assignment? Assignment feels weird. I don't like assignment. Let's just call it challenge. Do that. It'll be fun. And enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your day, night, whenever you're watching this. Fuck. Bye. Oh, hi. I'm down here.
Actually, this mic, I don't think it's on.
You should include that. That's cool. And just verify for me that you got good audio.
Yeah,
Yes, I am talking in words, and for breakfast I had words.
Oh, yeah.
This thing looks like it's almost about to fall off of that pole. the microphone falls off mid-video, you can all laugh. Yeah, should be still around 6, I think.
It wasn't 7.
Oh.
So this is what the thing was like.
Oh shit.
Hanging up.
Oh shit. Probably happened when I moved it. Amateur hour. Ooh, squeaky. Squeaky. Which one's better? That one?